There is a quiet battle happening inside almost every tennis player, a battle no one wants to admit, a battle that rarely gets spoken about, but one that controls far more of your performance than your technique ever will. It is the ego battle, the internal struggle between wanting to win and wanting to look good while doing it. And in tennis, far more players are driven by the need to look good than by the actual desire to win. It's not something players confess. It's not something they say out loud. But it sits beneath every hesitation, every tight stroke, every safe shot, every unnecessary risk, and every emotional meltdown. The need to protect the way you appear is often stronger than the desire to compete freely. If you've ever caught yourself caring more about how your forehand looks on camera than whether it lands in the court, if you've backed away from a smart, ugly tactical shot because you didn't want to look bad, if you've played safe to avoid embarrassment or overplayed to impress others, if your performance collapsed the moment someone you respect walked by, then you already know the ego battle intimately. And there is nothing wrong with you. You are not alone. This is one of the most human, most natural, and most powerful psychological forces in tennis. The ego is the part of you that wants to be admired. It wants to be respected. It wants people to say, "He plays beautifully. She's so smooth. They look like a real player." The ego is obsessed with appearance, how the game looks, how you look, how others perceive you. The ego is terrified of anything that threatens your identity as a good player. It is terrified of looking foolish, looking weak, looking slow, looking unskilled. And because of that fear, the ego can override your competitive instincts. You tell yourself you want to win. But the truth is, you want to look like a winner more than you want the actual victory. Appearance versus performance. That is the hidden war. And performance almost always suffers because of it. Let's explore this gently. When you step on court, you bring with you a self-image, a picture of who you think you are as a player. Maybe you believe you are an aggressive baseliner. Maybe you believe your forehand is your weapon. Maybe you believe you're supposed to be smooth, elegant, powerful, fast, consistent. And the moment the match asks something different from you, something uglier, something grittier, something less polished, the ego panics. The ego says, "No, don't play like that. People will think you're not good. People will think you're failing. People will think you're not who you say you are." This is why players refuse to moonball even when it's the smartest shot. This is why players refuse to slice even though it works. This is why players force winners instead of constructing points. This is why players avoid drop shots, angles, slow balls, heavy topspin, or anything that doesn't look like clean tennis. This is why players prefer losing beautifully to winning ugly. The ego cares about identity, not results. But here's the deeper truth. The ego is not protecting your tennis. The ego is protecting your self-worth. It is protecting the image you have of yourself. It is protecting the narrative you want others to believe. Winning challenges technique. But looking bad challenges identity. And identity is far more emotionally fragile. This is why players melt down when someone is watching. This is why players celebrate beautiful winners more than smart points. This is why players feel ashamed after certain misses. This is why players talk about how they should have won, as if that protects their image. This is why players pretend not to care. This is why players freeze when expectations rise. This is why players hide behind anger, humor, excuses, and stories. Because losing is one thing, but losing your identity feels worse. Let's go deeper. The ego also avoids shame. Shame is the emotional experience of feeling not enough. Missing an easy shot triggers shame. Double faulting triggers shame. Losing to a weaker opponent triggers shame. Playing messy triggers shame. And the ego cannot tolerate shame. It will do anything to avoid it, even sabotage you. The ego would rather you play safe and lose gently than risk being exposed. It would rather keep you in your comfort zone. It would rather protect the illusion that you're good, you just weren't trying. The ego prefers excuses to vulnerability. So how does this show up in your game? You hesitate on big points. You overthink shot selection. You refuse to change your strategy when needed. You stay in patterns that make you look good, but not patterns that win. You chase highlight shots in moments where consistency matters. You collapse under pressure because pressure threatens your identity. You protect your self-image instead of letting yourself compete. Now let's talk about hidden ego scripts, those unconscious rules buried inside you. They sound like, if I play ugly, it means I'm not good. If I slice too much, people will think I'm cheap. If I moonball, people will think I'm unskilled. If I miss, they'll think I'm a bad player. I'd rather lose trying to play beautifully than when playing ugly. If I look bad, I'll be judged. If I change my style, I'll lose who I am. If I play safe, they'll think I'm scared. If I try too hard, it means I'm not talented. These scripts secretly run your decision-making. They shape your strategy. They control your emotions. They even influence your body language. You are not losing because of technique. You are losing because your ego is choosing identity protection over competitive freedom. But here's something hopeful. Ego is not the enemy. Ego is merely afraid. Ego is trying to protect you from emotional pain. Ego is trying to defend your inner child, the part of you that once felt judged, misunderstood, or not good enough. Ego simply believes that looking good keeps you safe from those feelings. But humility is the antidote. Humility in tennis doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking less about yourself while you play. It means letting go of the need to impress. It means allowing yourself to do whatever the moment requires, even if it looks ugly, even if it looks unskilled, even if others judge you. Humility is the freedom to compete rather than perform. Humility is playing the shot that works, not the shot that looks good. Humility is accepting mistakes without attaching them to identity. Humility is letting yourself evolve. Humility is choosing effectiveness over aesthetics. Humility is placing winning, not looking like a winner, at the center of your game. When you train humility, something extraordinary happens. Your shots loosen. Your fear softens. Your creativity returns. You start adapting. You play smarter. You play freer. You play for the actual win, not the appearance of one. Humility is not weakness. Humility is emotional strength. Before we close, here is your CTA. If this episode made you feel seen, if it spoke to a part of you you've never admitted out loud, I invite you to subscribe to the channel for more deep tennis psychology truths that liberate your game. Share this episode with someone who also struggles with ego on court. They may never tell you, but they need this message too. And in the comments, tell me honestly, which ego script controls your game the most? Is it wanting to look good? Fear of shame? Protecting your identity? Your answer may help someone else discover their own hidden patterns. And now, for our closing message. You are not the ego you carry. You are not the fear of being seen as less. You are not the identity you feel pressured to protect. Beneath the ego, beneath the desire to look good, beneath the fear of shame, there is a competitor who wants to play freely, bravely, beautifully, not in appearance, but in spirit. The ego battle is not won by force. It is won by understanding. And the moment you choose humility over image, the moment you choose authenticity over performance, the moment you let go of looking good and begin to simply play, that is the moment you reclaim your freedom. That is the moment you finally become who you were meant to be on the court.